K-Tahoe, AM and FM. It is me, the Insane Darrell Wayne. In studio as promised, we've got Alan Quinlan. Alan, how in the world are you?
Doing just wonderful, Darrell. Appreciate the invitation to come up. Worked out real nice because we checked out the Neil Young show while we were here too.
Oh wow, that's great. Well, it was quite the show, matter of fact.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And as we were saying, you have to be a little bit of a Neil Young fan to have really enjoyed that. If you came to just hear his greatest hits, probably not for the faint of heart, matter of fact.
Well, part of the beauty of Neil Young is you're never quite sure what you're going to get. And he's got, obviously 35, 40, 45 years worth of music that is just it's phenomenal, and obviously he's got his commercial hits, but then there's some brilliant songs that aren't as easily accessible, and his guitar playing is just phenomenal. So the true fans just had a wonderful time at that show. It's really, really enjoyable.
Oh man, that's
exactly Alan, well, you're an accomplished musician, obviously. Growing up, did you grow up in the Bay Area?
No, actually, Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix,
Arizona.
And who were some of your childhood heroes that you would say sort of shaped your career musically?
There's so many of them. On the first CD in my second life, there's a song I wrote called "Rock and Roll Dreams," and it kind of lists.
Why don't you hand that to me while you're talking about it, and I'll load it into the machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it really lists a lot of the people that have influenced not only me, but anyone that's ever picked up a guitar or piano. And it goes back to the early days with Elvis and Bill Haley and Chuck Berry and Little Richard. They laid the foundation for a lot of us that got into rock and roll. And then certainly all of the groups in the 60s, obviously the Beatles, Stones, any of the British invasion bands, going on to Elton in the 70s and so forth. I mean, there's just so many talented, wonderful bands from those periods that had such a great impact on anyone that picked up a guitar or piano.
Well, let's go ahead and play the track. It's Rock and Roll Dreams on K-Tahoe AM and FM. It is Saturday night. It is my turn.
Start tapping, you're hearing rock and roll. And if your fingers start snapping, you're hearing rock and roll. It's been gone such a long time from my radio. Did it die or just fade away? I miss it so. If you feel like you're itching and on a fuzzy tree, and if your temperature's rising, you're listening to the key. There's no need to call the doctor, he wouldn't know what to do. You got that rock and roll fever, yeah, I've got it too. I was raised on a radio that rocks. Elvis, Buddy Holly, we thought they'd never stop. Gonna keep on running, chasing my rock and roll dream. Started everything with rock around the clock. I can sing about the 20 flights of rock. Little Richard,
Name of the CD is In My Second Life. It's Alan Quinlan, and you worked with Bill Spooner on this one as well, huh?
Right.
Yeah, you and Bill collaborated on this one and this one.
On both of them. There you go.
Yeah, which is...
we're going to collaborate on the next one,
Which one
too.
were those now?
So Bill Spooner, obviously involved with the Tubes for many years, a founding member.
He was the founding member.
Yeah. And they've had a lot of personnel changes over the years, and I don't think Bill's playing with them anymore.
No, he hasn't played with them for a few years. They've asked him to come back, and it just doesn't fit into his schedule and what his plans are right now. So that's just not going to happen right now.
So how did you and Bill actually meet, I guess, would be one of the questions.
Over the years, our paths just crossed several times, and we talked. We both had a admiration for great old music and rock and roll, and the things that he was doing with the Tubes were a little different. They were getting into more theatrical and
certainly not commercial at all. A lot of the things in a variety. Right, that's what strikes me. I was talking with Ken Scott in an interview, and we were talking about he produced the second Tubes album, the
Young and Rich.
Young and Rich, and we were talking about the variety. I mean, it's sometimes back in the day when you recorded an album, you dropped a needle on the first track and you played all the way to the end of the last track on the last side, and it told a story, or it was thematic, or there was a lot of similarity. But with the Tubes, it was just sort of all over the map.
Well, Ken, as you know, just wrote this phenomenal book, Abbey Road to Ziggy Stardust.
Yes.
I just finished reading it, and he has several really interesting anecdotes about the Tubes and Bill Spooner and so forth. And I think one of the things when he was working on that particular record that he mentioned, that they were finishing up the record, and he wasn't really quite sure how it was all going to pan out and be listenable, cohesively, like you were talking about. And then they recorded Don't Touch Me There,
right,
which was the big hit from that record. But it kind of all came together at the 11th hour.
And actually, as a result of doing that interview and talking about the project with you and Bill Spooner, Ken Scott now has a copy of the CD in his hand.
Great.
Matter of fact, we just got it to him last week. So
thank you.
I'm glad to be able to, put talk to B, and put A and B together somehow. It's sort of radio matchmaking at its best.
So rare for you.
Yeah. And speaking of radio matchmaking, Leland is here in the studio, and yesterday I gave him a copy of The Money and the Power. He had a chance to listen to it, and Leland, being a musician, has some questions. We're coming back with My Turn, and Leland and Alan talking next on the air. It is K Tahoe AM and FM taking this break.